Good morning, dear children. Today we are going to see forms of government and democracy. Let's recall the types of government. Some of the types or forms of government and some were missing here. Hope you can recall it again. Well, we'll start today's session. Democracy in India. India has a parliamentary form of democracy. India is the largest democratic country in the world in which the parliament comprises with elected representatives of people. This is a picture of Parliament of India. Forms of democratic government. Here we see two forms of government. One is parliamentary form of government and the other one is presidential form of government. Before entering into that, we'll see what is electorate, legislature and executive. Electorate, it's a collective people of a country, that is we talk about the number of votes. Legislature, that is to make laws. Executive, to execute the legislature. Well, parliamentary form of government is followed in India and in England. So, the democratic form which comprises the greatest representation in the parliament will form the government. Especially the leader will be the prime minister, to elect the prime minister. So the parliamentary form of government is with the head prime minister, and with the presidential form of government is the head is president. Here we see electorate, legislature, executive in three separate wings. Over presidential we see electorate under the control of president and executive and legislature comprise with that presidential control. Two elements of parliamentary form of democracy, that is what we follow in India. Participation of people in decision making. The people, through their voting power, they were the one to decide the leader. And the second one is consent of the people. So without the consent of the people, nothing can be done in the democratic country. These were the two elements. So when leaders are elected to rule over the country, the people have been given freedom to express their views, organize, and also freedom to protest if there is any fault the government makes. Basic principles of democracy. Dear children, here I have given the preamble of Constitution. The basic principles have been said in preamble, that is the very first page of Constitution. What were it mentioned? It gives importance for 5 principles of democracy: sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. What is sovereign? A supreme and independent power of the ruler. And the next one, specially it has been given for economic theory which is owned by the workers, that is we call as socialist. Secular, it is not connected with any religion. So no religious difference have been seen in this democratic country. And the next one, democratic and republic, you know very well. Democratic is government by the people through free election, and republic is government controlled by representatives of citizen body. Vote. What do you mean by vote? It is a participation of citizen. The citizen represent in every vote. It has to be done in free and fair way in equal rights. So we call universal adult franchise. What is universal adult franchise? It is based on universal adult suffrage. The citizen have right to vote at the age of 18 years without any discrimination, without any variation. That is, what were the variations? We cannot deny that he belongs to this caste or this religion or male or female. No, nothing. Without any discrimination. One who have attained 18 years of old and it is called as a citizen of that nation, India, he has right to vote. That is what we call as universal adult franchise. Caste, without any discrimination of caste or color, religion or region, gender or education. Your voice. Which is your voice? Your vote is your voice. So through your vote you are expressing your views. So it's your right to vote. Don't deny in voting. Now we'll see merits and demerits of democracy. First, let's see merits. Responsible and accountable government. Responsible, you know very well. You are responsible. Response to what you mean. Okay. And accountable is trustworthy. Believing. So, how the government should be? It should respond and trustworthy government. And the next one, equality and fraternity. Equalness among the people, and fraternity means brotherhood. Sense of responsibility among common people. The people should have their own responsibilities which should not hurt or harm others. The local administration. Fifth one, no one should be left undeveloped. Everyone should be given importance in every aspect for that prospering in their life. Popular sovereignty. The ruler should work for the people with his wholehearted responsibility. So he should not deny in his response, in his dignity. The last one, no one should deny in their cooperation and with the fraternal feeling, sense of cooperation. You have to have the sense of cooperation. Okay, children, we'll move on to the demerits. Even though the representatives are elected by the people, it's not the proper in our nation. Why it's not proper in our nation? Because of corruption, political violence and etc. Hope you can recall with your major challenges in India. And the next one, democratic process. It is not to be a better advice that election are also not done in fair way. Oscillation in governing the country because of the broken laws. The laws were not proper. It has been made for the people, but the laws have been not followed properly. And the final, the decision cannot be taken very easily. because the committee have to be formed, the argument goes on for several days, and finally the process will be too delayed. These were the demerits. Just recall with merits. Okay, read with me. Responsible and accountable government, equality and fraternity, sense of responsibility among common people, local self-government, development and prosperity for all, popular sovereignty, sense of cooperation and fraternal feeling. Demerits: indirect or representative nature of democracy, lack of interest in democratic process and hence lower turnout in elections, instability in governance due to fractured mandate, delay in decision making process. Now let's see the next slide. Elections in India. India has a quasi-federal government. What do you mean by quasi-federal? It with all the levels, central, state, and with local bodies, local administration. Thus, elections are conducted periodically by the Election Commission of India. The headquarters of Election Commission is in New Delhi. We have Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha that we call as two houses of parliament. What is Lok Sabha? It is otherwise called as lower house or house of people. Rajya Sabha is called as upper house, its council of states. For Lok Sabha, the election will be conducted throughout the country. But for the Rajya Sabha, it is with the representatives. The election will be held directly by the people once in every 5 years. So, Electoral College consists of elected members of legislative assemblies of state and union territories. So, the Rajya Sabha member have been elected with the help of Electoral College. The very first election in Indian history is held on 1920 in British India. And the very first election in democratic India, that is Lok Sabha election, have been held in 1951 between 25th October and 21st February. In this, Indian National Congress won among 489 seats, 364 have been folded up with Congress. Hats off to Indian National Congress. Thus, Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru have become the first Prime Minister of democratic country. Let's salute our leader. Well, conditions for the success of democracy. Upliftment of poor and illiterates. Elected people should not misuse the power and public wealth. Also, to get rid of social evils like linguism, religionism, communalism, female harassing. Also, public opinion should be focused without partial by the press. So, medias also have to feel free to express their in and outputs of people. Tolerance and communal harmony should be practiced. Awareness should be given to the people about fundamental rights. Keen watch and vigilance on the ruler. Thus, for smooth functioning of the government, these steps should be taken to get rid of major challenges to India. Dear children, let's recall once again the condition for the success of democracy in India. Read with me. Empowerment of poor and illiterates to enjoy the goodness of democracy. Willingness among the elected people not to misuse their powerful position and public wealth. Eradication of social evils and dangers from which democracy suffers. An impartial and efficient press to form public opinion. Presence of strong public opinion. Feeling of tolerance and communal harmony among the people. Awareness among the people of the fundamental rights that they are entitled to enjoy. Conscious check and vigilance on the working of the elected representatives. Powerful and responsible opposition. Okay? What were the fundamental rights? Recall what you have learnt in the earlier classes. We have 6 fundamental rights to the citizens. First one, right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. So, if a citizen of India is to be awareness of this fundamental rights. Children, we have come to end of this lesson. Just analyze what will be your opinion about democracy in India. Just bring out all the points. If a democracy have to be fulfilled in India, what will be your opinion for the needful things? What will be your suggestion? Yes, let's see. Indian democracy can be successful and vibrant only when the citizen reflect in the behavior on democratic values. What were the democratic values? Equality, freedom, social justice, accountability, and respect for all. When the people's mindset is good and positive, it should be appreciated to prove active the goals of democracy. Okay, children, be good enough, have positive sense of thinking, and respect our democratic values and inculcate within you. Thank you. Your homework will be 2 questions. One is the conditions necessary for the success of democracy in India. The next one, your opinion about democracy in India. So learn and write, get duly signed with your parents with date, and post it on the same day between the time 5 to 6 in the evening. Be clear, children, need not just post throughout the day. You have your timing. Take your own time, learn properly. So post between 5 to 6. Well, we end today's session.